Alright guys, so if you have this indicator on your chart, I just want to go over how you use it effectively. Shout out boitoki. I took the killzone session indicator that you could find on TradingView, and I kind of just went into chatgpt and coded it with a couple different things like EMAs, a VWAP, added the darker portion of the rectangle for the initial balance, just the first hour of the session, the first hour high and low. And then basically we just look for that to get swept. So once you add it on your chart, it'll look like this. And I also have this other indicator that I use. These are only two indicators I use. This FVG/imbalance zones by JP7FX. It just automatically draws out your imbalances, fair value gaps, whatever you want to call them. I have them different colors because once they are not filled or mitigated, they will be a little lighter, and then once they are filled or tapped into, they will turn to a darker gray. So that lets you know they've been mitigated. Okay, so I'm on the 3 minute because this is where I usually like to catch my entries for these indicators right here. Let's just start with the basics right here. We can see, we'll start with London. This darker purple is London. This orange one is Asia. And this blue one is New York. It's the first 2 hours of the session. All right. And then, like I said, we have the first 1 hour in the darker portion. So we're going to look for either this low or this high to get swept. Or if it's not going to get swept, like just like this, then it will come down and respect this area as resistance and then continue the trend downwards. So here you can see we go and sweep this high with these two candles here, start to accumulate really hard until we eventually just slowly come and melt down below the EMAs and tap the VWAP line. So this was going to tell us that we are likely, if we don't hold here strong, we are going to come down and target the low of the initial balance. All right, so eventually that's what happens after it plays around for a while. You probably could draw a Fibonacci from this high to this low and see where it pulls back to. I'll do that just to show it. So right there, pulls back to the 705 perfectly. Takes these past highs. Really good little drop right there to take out our targets of the fib. Very clean. So that's how you would trade that. This was the scenario that ended up playing out, just vice versa. So get rid of these, and then now obviously we know that we want to trade mainly during New York because that's when we have the most volume, the better type of trades. So here, as we go and continue to sweep this, we go and continue to sweep this low, right? We don't go and take out Asia low from before. We just bounce right off of this area. What is this area? This is the imbalance that was created with this push up in the beginning of Asia. Okay, right? So we hold right in that. Doesn't break it. So that is your sign that we're going to try and look for a bounce here after a inversion, because we now swept the low of London. And if we can get a inversion of the most recent significant bearish fair value gap here, which would be this one, you can see we inverse, pull back right to the middle of it, continue up, pull back, almost tap it again. But this pullback just creates our New York low, and then pretty much just booms from there, continues up with this move. You may be able to plot a fib here again, catch this little pullback. Try to do it from here. So yeah, stays right above the first line, the 0.382. So just pull back. Maybe you plot it here, still stays right above the 5. But I would take it to this low, to this high, pulls back to 382, continues up. And then we go and sweep our London high, right? This candle, pull back to this imbalance. So let's mark this up because we've got with this indicator, the fair value gap indicator, once it gets mitigated, it will make the fair value gap disappear, but you can go and redraw it, obviously. Okay, so here's the sweep London high. We have a pullback, so we're holding support here at this imbalance. We tap our first target with that sweep right here. Almost get to the second target. We also go and sweep Asia high, and once we pull back the first time to the VWAP, we hold above it pretty much. We're on the 3, remember, so if we were to go up to the 5, this would just be a wick. Watch, and then, so yeah, we just wick down to the VWAP, wick back into this imbalance, push up, keep breaking past highs, right? We'll have another nice wick here to the top. That's what forms our London high for this kill zone. We have a nice little pullback again to go and fill these wicks with some actual candle body and then start to push back up. For the most recent IFVG, we would look right here on the 5-minute. I'll go back down to the 3-minute as well. And then this, if you are out of the trade now, say you get stopped out or something, this is going to be your optimal trade entry now, your ideal trade entry. If you didn't catch the bottom bounce right here, this is your next safest bet. Let's go to the 3-minute. Boom, there it is, same thing. There's also another small one right here. If you wanted to be more aggressive, you could enter off the break of this candle. Like I said, if you don't catch like a bottom tick, catch here, you can catch here once we pull back and respect this inversion now, right? Now we're going to push above EMAs, break above this inversion right here, imbalance, inverse that. Keep pushing up. We're going to take New York highs now. Now, since we took New York highs, we're going to pull back. Are we going to sweep and continue back down to take the lows, or are we going to hold support here? What happens? We hold support at this imbalance. Right? It's not always going to be perfect. Yeah, one candle did go through, but we still hold support here. That is like just a manipulation candle to stop all these people out. This is actually accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution right here, actually, on a lower time frame. So this would be a trade. This would be a trade. And this is where we're at right now, still sitting inside of this big imbalance. Let's go to the 15 because this indicator should show up from the 1 hour and below. The 15, the 5, the 3 are really good indicators to use for this for entries, but you can use the 15 and like the 30 to get like clear sweeps on higher time frames and kind of target your next area, like areas of interest, which would be like these highs up here, this last New York high. If we can keep pushing and inverse this big imbalance here, then we're probably going to tap this, you know what I'm saying? If we break above this, pull back, hold some type of support and keep pushing, or we could sweep this, come back down, maybe sweep these lows or something, if we keep pushing like that. Like that's just what we would look for as we continue to move with the market. But here's that same Fibonacci bounce. Both of these. Sorry about that helicopter if you could hear it. But yeah, gold's pushing now, so this would have been a beautiful trade right here, Beautiful trade. like we pushed below on these 1 minute candles, but we still held this support right here, you know. And like I said, we're on the 1 minute, so it's not the greatest or necessarily smartest thing to always just be staring at the 1 minute. On the 5 minute, we bounce off of this little imbalance right here, right? Hold above the EMAs, and we're flying now. Flying now. You see how we would catch this buy? I hope y'all can see how we would catch this buy. Really, the ideal entry would have been down here at this London low sweep, right? And I can go back. I swear I caught the same type of trade a couple days ago, a London low sweep, in all of this chop. Watch, I'll show you. Yeah, it was this one right here. But it was a sweep of the London initial balance low, not the actual low, right? Not the low of the kill zone, but just the low of the initial balance. So price was moving along, chopping along all beginning of the week, right? We have the sweep of the high here of Asia, get a little pullback, hold above or hold at this imbalance right here. Perfect. It tells us we're going to probably keep pushing up. We start playing around again, chopping around. So then I'll think here, okay, we're probably going to sell off again a little bit. We go and sell off back to fill this wick, back to this imbalance, back to this VWAP, bounce right off of it. Go and sweep the kill zone high, get a nice push right back down to the VWAP, play around again basically until we get into London. Here's our high, wicking down, pushing off of this area again, creates the low, pull back, sweeps the low, and then starts to immediately turn around here. You can go to the 3 minute because there will probably be, or the 1 minute, there will probably be a fair value gap here that gets inversed, gets pulled back to. We should respect this area, right? Still holding above the VWAP as well. That's our second confluence. And then we are pushing above the EMAs. There's another confluence. And then we're breaking above highs, probably inversing more fair value gaps. And then we're just going to target the high of the initial balance for the first target. Smash it, pull back, right back to this imbalance, hold above it, smash it again. Then we have that first push was the high of the kill zone. Take it, pull back. Same thing here. We just keep respecting this most recent bullish imbalance, and then we fly every time. Fly, and then eventually just loses some momentum. We have a little. This is a very tiny fair value gap, but I'm sure on the 3 it's a little bigger on the 1. But we have a fair value gap here. So once this gets broken past, you could enter here. We hold at this imbalance and continue down lower. Closing below EMAs. We're going to go and target these lows back to the VWAP probably, bounce right off the VWAP. Start to play around again until we open New York. Here's our high of the first hour, our low of the first hour. Goes and sweeps London low, goes and sweeps Asia low, and mitigates this. Ooh, it actually doesn't. It gets really close though. I thought it did. Hold on. Yeah, see. But basically just goes and respects this support right here, right? There's also an imbalance right here, actually. That's what it's going to. So yeah, pushes back up off of that. Kind of starts to just accumulate in this zone. Push up, bounce off of here. This is an imbalance it's respecting. All right, this is a support. We keep inversing this bearish imbalance, gives us a push, brings us back up to the highs. We actually reached the high of the first hour now. Sweep it, little pullback, sweep it again, and then we get another pullback, create a lower low, get a nice little push back up to highs, and then just play around more, right? This whole time we're just playing around, so it's just a lot of ugly trades, or like trades that aren't lasting long, aren't running, because we were just ranging in between this area of like 50 115 and 5,000, you know, until we finally get the big drop that we need. All right. So the reason this happened was because London highs got swept. Here's the initial balance. High gets swept of it, goes back down to the low basically. Gets a nice push up because it respects this support though. It just wicks back down. But bodies are still respecting this area right here. Push back up. Here's your high. We come back down, sweep the low, right back up to the high, sweep the high. We're going to take these lows out now, the initial balance low, and then the low of this Asia session that hasn't been tapped yet. Sweep it, push right back up, respect this area as support again, crazy dump as the manipulation out of all of this accumulation, because right afterwards it gets ate right back up, right? And same day we have our most recent imbalance here, right? But then we still end up playing down here at this area because this low still has to come and get swept. We bounce off, right? We don't get a runner here. We're going to keep playing around until we get a nice little sweep. This is actually like another little lower time frame PO3. We have accumulation, manipulation, gets inversed. Here's our distribution up. Then we create our Asia session for today, or yesterday technically. And I already explained all this, so this was the trade we would have taken today, ideally, this morning, or one of these. This bounce, this bounce. If you don't catch any of this, you can catch this, you know? So yeah, that's basically this whole week broken down with this indicator. And it was a real choppy week, so I could go back more in time, like in the beginning of January, it was running a lot more smooth, you know, so. But yeah, I hope that kind of shows how I use this, because I really just look for these sweeps of these highs or lows, see if they're going to pull us back, or if they're going to, you know, if we're going to respect off of a imbalance or whatever, and see if we can get a buy, or see if we can get a sell. If we're going to keep moving, you know, just it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not too crazy of a strat. Just combining multiple different confluences, like Fibonacci's. I didn't even really explain like a standard deviation, which are killer. This is some manipulation here, right? Just tricking people into selling after pulling up to this imbalance. Okay, we're gonna sell off here. We're gonna keep dropping, right? Nope, we're gonna turn right back around. So I'm gonna standard deviation this. Put it on the wrong ones. Pull it out a little bit. Wow, what do you know? We went right up to the 4.5. What do you know, guys? And then we'll go on a lower time frame. On the way up out of this standard deviation, the reason why I have these white targets here is because if I would have plotted this like right after this move, you know, like say right around here, I would have waited to see if, as we pushed up and inversed this imbalance right here, see how we hold above this, and we're also holding above these targets right here, part of my standard deviation. It's the same fib line, 618, 705, 79. We hold right at the 705. Remember, that's a golden line, so it's the same line as this Fibonacci. Hold right above it. After we inverse this big imbalance, pull right back to it, you know, staying above our EMAs, or we go and cross right above our EMAs, stay above them, bounce off this imbalance, bouncing off these targets, you know, those are all of our signs to buy. So yeah, we just fly from there. Basically, we just want to see more imbalances getting inversed, highs being broken, support being made, pull back, have some support made, keep going. We've finally get up to our VWAP again. This would be like your first main target, and then once you break it, you want to target like your next highs or whatever. So we have some accumulation here, manipulation down to that 382 fib like I was talking about in the beginning. And like I said, that's what just pushes us up basically. Then we just play around here off this imbalance until we fly off again. Same thing though, right after. There's a 1 minute here. IFVG. Could have entered here a little more aggressively or wait. Beautiful buys to end the week. Beautiful buys to end a choppy ass week. And here's your targets, your first standard deviation targets right here. Like I said, after you target the VWAP, you could target these past highs. These past highs are right around these standard deviations, so it's likely that it's gonna just hit right around this area, 5K area, right? Went right back up to 5K. What's around the 5K area? Asia highs too, you know. So 5K area was a strong target for these buys down here. And then if we break past this, where are we gonna target next? We have a nice big imbalance sitting up here on the 1 minute that didn't get tapped into until just now. What's also around here are -4 standard deviation targets. What's also up around here? The end of this big imbalance, right? So that's how I knew we were gonna be buying today after this. Just also because when you see this happen enough, you just know, especially with gold. So also I want to go over, show you this works on every single pair. It does not matter. It does not matter. You do the same thing with every single pair. Same concept, same strategy. This might be a little different, obviously. So look, if you wanted to trade a little bit of NAS, you can scalp. Here's our Asia open low, Asia open high. Sweep it right back down to our Asia open high. We sweep the low, accumulation, manipulation. We have an inversion, pushes up, pulls right back to the inversion, right? And also this bullish imbalance respects it. We swept the London high here, which is what let us know that we were going to come and sweep down to here, you know, sweep the low of London, push back up to the high, make a new high for the kill zone. We don't sweep it yet. We pull back from it, right? We're clearly showing some resistance here off this area. You know, you obviously look in the past, see what's happening. Why? There's an imbalance here. Price did break above it a little bit, but right after it did, it dumped. So same thing here. Dump right back down to the low of the kill zone. Doesn't keep dumping though. It stops right at this area. This would technically be a sweep to push back up. We accumulate some more, manipulate. So much AMD in on NAS and like all indices. If you can see it, like yes, this is a PO3. This is accumulation, manipulation, distribution. It's small, but it's there. This is also a killer trade if you can catch this. Yeah, you know, box it up. Accumulation, manipulation, inversion. We just get like wild pullback movements, especially because it's Friday and CPI. But we go and sweep the imbalance, or the initial balance of New York, and then we're gone from there. You know, pull back, VWAP, push up, break more imbalances, pull back to the VWAP, push up, break our highs, pull back. Now we're just playing around here at this high that we swept and still sitting above our EMAs. You know, it's been a choppy week, so the examples are honestly not going to be the greatest, but you can see how it still works perfectly, basically, in a even these type of market conditions. Here, Asia, low, high of the first hour, pull right back to imbalance, hold it, push up, take the high, respect structure, keep pushing, sweep the high, show obvious resistance here. Okay, we're going to pull back down some more. We stay above the VWAP though. We pull right back down to this imbalance. Don't break it. See that? We do not break this. Okay, combining all these indicators together, fair value gaps, imbalance, whatever you want to call it, VWAP, EMAs, kill zone sweeps, you're going to catch crazy trades. This is a crazy trade. 22, 250, 25, 215, 25, 285. That's enough for the day, really. We go accumulate all of London. This is all accumulation, manipulation, dump. More AMD. Same thing. If you don't see it, here it is. We are not moving. We are clearly moving left to right here. Okay? We get a impulsive, extremely impulsive push up that immediately turns around. This is clear PO3 accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Once we inverse this fair value gap, we pull right back up to it. Also, we make another bearish, pull back to this, it's even better, and dump. So that's basically how I trade. It's basically exactly how I'm trading every day. And then you manage the trade as you're in. First, we're going to target always with PO3s. If we're bearish, we're going to target the low of the accumulation. If we're bullish, we're going to target the high of accumulation first. We get a bounce off of it, right? That's where we get the first pullback to there. That's confirming that we're going to keep dumping, right? Okay, so then we're going to target, since we didn't target London last time we dropped, we're going to target London now. Okay, we sweep London, we smash London. We go and smash through this imbalance like it's nothing, right? Momentum. Asia taken, gone. Momentum, pull back, easy, gone. You know what I'm saying? Now we have this low all the way down here from that big drop from New York that happened. Where are we going? Where do you think we're going? To the low. Gone. Where are we going now? Let's look in the past. We have this low that hasn't been taken. Okay, we're going to move towards it. Gone. Right? Until we hit where? We go and mitigate the middle of this session. Pull back a little bit. We go and target the low of this New York session. Right? Gone. Smashed. Now we mitigate the middle of this big New York or London session push right here. That's where we get our pullback. There is an imbalance right here. All right? We've seen that on the 5 or on the 15 minute or whatever. Or no, I'm thinking about gold, sorry. But we did see I do remember, I remember there being a big imbalance right here. I just don't have it marked up anymore. Boom, perfect. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I could just tell there was an imbalance there with just how those 5 minute candles were moving. Right? London low sweep. Sweeps the high, plays around for a bit, takes all these buyers out before we really take off. So yeah, same thing, different instrument, let me see, what else can we look at? We can put it on crypto, we can put it on all that type of shit. You can put it on a Forex. Look, Euro USD. I haven't traded Forex for a long time, but I'm sure it still works. Low and high of New York. High gets swept, dump, pull back, continue lower. Here's our support. We sweep the low, pull back, play around, finally come back down to our support here. You know, like this whole area right here is support. Bounce right off, sweep the high, come and pull back down to the imbalance, push right up from there, back up to highs. All right, right back down to lows. Don't sweep the London low for whatever reason, I don't know, but we get a nice push back up. You know, so it works on everything. I'm telling you. Market's just been kind of this week. This is a beautiful sweep right here of London, actually. Yeah, that would have been awesome. That was clear as day. So easy. Higher high, gone. Here too. Low swept, lower low, gone. Right back to the highs. Yeah. All right. Hope y'all get it. If you need anything, got any questions, you know where to find me. RackPerMinute on Instagram. Blue Sky Investing. Discord. VIP. I got you. Appreciate y'all for watching. Have a good day.